Hello everyone. In the last video, I have explained about for loop. In this video, I am going to explain about nested loops. TCL allows us to insert one loop inside another loop, which forms a nested loops. There are different types of nested loops that are available. That is nested for loop and nested while loop. Whereas nested for loop is consisting of outer for loop, which is consisting of an inner for loop inside the outer for loop. Here we can see the syntax for nested for loop. Here this indicates the outer for loop, and inside this outer for loop we are having another for loop which we can indicate it as inner for loop. After this there are some statements. Here how it will execute means, first of all it will initialize, then it will check for the condition. If the condition is satisfied, it will go to the for loop inside this outer for loop, and then it will perform the initialization and then check the condition and then execute the statements. Then it will increment, like that it will perform. After performing this for loop, it will increment the value and again it will go to the for loop and it will perform. Like that it will work. If the condition is not satisfied, then it will go to the statements after this for loop. This is about nested for loop. Let us see about nested while loop. Nested while loop is consisting of a while loop inside another while loop, where this while loop is called as outer while loop and this is called as inner while. Whereas it will check the condition. If the condition is true, it is going to execute this while condition. It will execute this until the condition becomes false, and then it will check again. If the condition is true, then it is going to execute again. Like that it will perform. If the condition is false, here it will go to the statements after the while loop. This is how while loop works. Let us execute some examples with respect to this nested loops. Here I am using an online compiler. Let us take nested for loop for initialize value of a with 15 and then condition less than 25, then increment. Inside this for loop we are inserting another for loop which forms a nested loop. Initialize b with 20, $b less than 25, then increment b, print the value $a and $b are less than 25. Then I am giving statements after this nested for loop. Value of a is $a and value of B is $B. Let us execute this and see how it will work. Here we can see we have set the value of A as 15 and we will be checking the condition whether 15 is less than 25. As the condition is satisfied, it is going to the statements inside this for loop. Here we have another for loop where we set the value of B as 20 and we will be checking the condition whether 20 is less than 25 or not. Then we are printing this. Here we can see it is printing the value of 15, that is A, and B 20 are less than 25. Then it is going to increment. It is incrementing the value of B as 21 and it again performing this and it again checking the condition and it is executing the statements. Like that it will perform until B becomes 25. As B becomes 25, the condition is not satisfied. It is going to the outer for loop and it is incrementing the value of A. Here we can see 24. Then it is incrementing the value of A and it is again going to the for loop and again incrementing the value of B. Like this it will perform until the value of A becomes 24. Here after this condition it will increment the value of B which becomes 25. It will check for the condition. The condition is not satisfied, so it is going to the outer for loop and it is incrementing the value of A which becomes 25. So the condition here also not satisfied, so it is going to the statements after this for loop. Here I have given a statement, print value of A is $A and value of B is $B. Here it is printing the values of A is 25 and value of B is 25. Like this it will work. Let us execute nested while loop and see how it will work. Let us set the value of A as 10, set the value of B as 20. Let us check the condition. While $A less than 12, I am inserting another while loop inside this while loop which forms a nested while loop. $B less than 22, print value of B is less than 22. Then increment A and increment B. I am giving other statement, puts value of A is $A and value of B is $B. Let us execute this and see how it will return. Let us give this as $B so that we will get some idea what's the value of B here. Here we have set the value of A as 10 and value of B as 20. In this condition we are checking whether value of A is less than 12. As 10 is less than 12, it is going inside this while loop and again it is checking whether $B is less than 22. As 20 is less than 22, it is printing the value of 20 is less than 22 and after that it will incrementing the value of A that is it is incrementing it to 11, and then it is incrementing the value of b to 21, and again it is checking for the condition whether 21 is less than 22 or not. As the condition is satisfied, it is going inside this while loop and it is printing value of 21 is less than 22, and again it is incrementing the value of a, that is it is incrementing to 12, and then it is incrementing the value of b, that is it is incrementing it to 22, and again it is checking whether 22 is less than 22. This condition is not satisfied, so it is going to the outer while loop and checking whether $a, that is 12, is less than 12. Here also the condition becomes false, so it is going out of this nested while loop and it is printing the statement after this while loop. Here I have given value of a is $a and value of b is $b. So it is printing value of a is 12 and value of b is 22. This is how it will work. Let us see more examples where how to insert a while loop inside a for loop and for loop inside a while loop. Let us see with an example. Let us insert a while loop inside a for loop. Initialize, then condition, then increment, let us take while loop inside this for loop. Here I have set the value of a as 20 and I am checking the condition whether 20 is less than 22. As 20 is less than 22, it is going to the inner while loop. Let us execute this. Here we can see as 20 is less than 22, it is going to the while loop. It is checking for the condition and it is incrementing it. As the condition is not true, it is not printing this. It is incrementing a, then it becomes 21 and it is again checking as 21 equals to 21. It is printing this 21 is less than 22. Then it is incrementing a again and it is checking whether this condition is true. If the condition is not true, it is going to the outer for loop where it is checking whether 22 is less than 20, where it will be incrementing to 23. It is checking whether 23 is less than 22. As the condition is not satisfied, it is coming out of the loop and it is printing the statement after this loop. Here we can see value of a is $a, that it is printing. This is how it works. Let us insert a for loop inside a while loop and see what will happen. set the value of A as 50 while $A less than 51. Let us insert a for loop inside this while loop. Initialize b with 20. Condition $B less than 22. Increment b. Statements. Let us execute this and see the explanation. Here I have taken the value of A as 50 and then I am checking the condition whether 50 is less than 51. As the condition is true, I am going to in the for loop inside this while loop where I am setting the value of B as 20 and I am checking whether 20 is less than 22. As 20 is less than 22, it is going inside this for loop and executing these statements. Here it is printing value of A is less than 51 when B is 20. This is how it is printing. Then it is incrementing A. Then A becomes 51 and it is incrementing B here. After executing this statement, it will go to the increment. Then it is incrementing B. It is incrementing the value of B as 21 and then it is checking for the condition whether 21 is less than 22. As 21 is less than 22, the condition is satisfied, so it is executing the statements and it is printing value of A is less than 51 when B is 21 and it is incrementing A. Then A becomes 52 and it is going to the increment statement and it is incrementing B as 22 and it is again checking whether 22 is less than 22. As the condition is not satisfied, it is going to the outer loop and it is checking whether 52 is less than 51. As the condition becomes false, it is executing the statement after this while loop. Here it is executing value of A and B are $A and $B. Here we can see value of A and B are 52 and 22. This is how it will work. Try to practice more examples to get more idea. In the next video, I will explain about infinite loop